Okay, so let's start with the vocab. I've typed it out for you, but I do want to let's go through and talk about what each one means. Yesterday we did some more practice with measures of central tendency. Okay, that is your mean, your median, and your mode. Today we're going to start talking about measures of variation. Which that will now describe your range, your upper, lower quartile, and inner quartile range. Okay? The word variation itself means how it changes. So really we're going to talk about how your data changes as we go through the numbers. Okay? The next word, quartile. What do you hear when you see the word quartile? Quarter. Okay? Well, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to divide our data into 4 groups. If you got 4 quarters and $1, so we're going to be dividing our data into 4 groups. Those 4 groups are going to be divided by the lower quartile and the upper quartile. Those are abbreviated LQ and UQ. You're going to end up finding your median 3 times. So you've got the median, or the middle of the lower half, and the median, or the middle of the upper half. Once we do that, then we're going to be looking for the inner quartile range. This one's also abbreviated IQR, so you can write that in there. And that's where, remember, range is the difference between the higher and the lower number. So this time we're going to be looking at the difference between your upper quartile and lower quartile. And I'm going to walk you through all of that in just a second. Your inner quartile range is where the majority of your data sits. And we'll be able to see this visually in just a minute when we list our numbers. Okay, outliers. With outliers, as you get older, you will actually be using a formula to find an outlier. For 6th grade, I just want you to be able to recognize it. Someone said last period, a good definition of an outlier is the oddball. Okay? So let's say, for example, our quiz we took Friday, let's say it was a great, everyone made between a 40 out of 50 and a 50 out of 50, except I had one person make a 10 out of 50. Does that work with our data? No, that's the one that sticks out, and those are totally made up numbers. But that one, that 10, it doesn't fit with everything else, so it's the one that sticks out. It is the outlier. Okay? Your outlier will be your highest number or your lowest number. We're looking at the ones that stand out on the ends. When we get to graphing our data next week and the week after, you'll actually be able to see it on paper, and you'll be like, oh, immediately, I know that one's an outlier, okay? Mean absolute deviation, your last vocab word. It's the average distance from the average. We'll be doing this in a couple of weeks. Just know it's on there. And again, mean absolute deviation. Deviation means to separate. So it's how far your data is separated from the average, or the mean, okay? All right, that's your vocab, the last part. Make sure you are still studying over this. I will send you a link to Quizlet where it's on there so you can continue studying, okay? All right, let's look on the other side. And measures of variation, okay? Those are range, upper, lower quartile, inner quartile range, okay? So our measures of variation are range. I want you to jot this down. Upper quartile, we're going to call it UQ, lower quartile, LQ, and inner quartile range. Those are your measures of variation. Okay? And we're going to go through this set of data together, and we're going to find all those things. What is the absolute first thing we need to do when we have a set of numbers?
Put them in order and add them up.
Bingo, you got it. We're going to put them in order least to greatest. Now, we were very lucky on this one because they got them in order backwards. So we're going to start at the bottom and write those down. 1, 8, 25, 30, 50, and 70. And we are looking for range, upper quartile, lower quartile, and inner quartile range. Excuse me. Okay, what is our range of this set of numbers? Remember, range is the difference between your highest number and your lowest number. What would it be?
1 and 70.
Okay, so subtract those, and what do you get? Okay? Now, the next thing we've got to do is find our median. We've got 6 pieces of data, so where's my median going to fall? Remember, median is the middle.
130.
It's between 25 and 30, okay? So it's between here. Now, how do I figure out that median? You got it. I love it. 25 plus 30 divided by 2, that gives me 27.5. So my median right here is 27.5. Now, I draw a line, and I wouldn't mind if you got in the habit of doing that as well, and I'll show you why in just a second. So go ahead, draw your line where your median is. You know your median is 27.5. Okay, so now we've got to find our upper and lower quartiles. Well, we've now split our data into 2 halves. You see, we've got our upper half and our lower half. So now, to find the upper and lower quartile, I want to find the median of this half and the median of this half. So what is our median up here?
150.
I'm not sure where you got that. It is 50. Okay?
I thought you added it all.
No. Do not add. I'm looking for the middle, the median. Okay? Because my original median, it falls between these 2 numbers, I use those numbers when I'm finding the median up here and down here. That's why I draw the line. I'll put a box around 50. This is now my upper quartile. Okay? Where's my lower quartile?
8.
8. Very good. Okay, so see, what we've done is we found the median, and the median. Once you split it, you found the median 3 times. Split it in half. That's the first median. Then you're looking at this set. You find the median there. And you're looking at that set, and you find the median there. It's like taking a piece of paper, and you want it in 4 pieces. You're going to fold it in half, tear it once, then you're going to fold each half in half and tear those. You with me? Kind of? Okay. All right, now, inner quartile range. Remember, range is the distance between, but this time I'm looking between my upper and lower quartile. So what is my distance between those 2 numbers?
2.
Think again. Between 50 and 8. 42. Okay, yes, range we're going to subtract. But this time the inner quartile range is going to be between your upper quartile and your lower quartile. So 50 minus 8, which would give us 42. And if you look at this, this is the majority of your data right here. Whoops, I'm sorry. This is your inner quartile range. That's the majority of your data.
Are we going to have homework?
And what it tells you is your data, the majority of it falls within 42 numbers. Looking at those numbers, do you think you have any outliers? Is there one that just really sticks out? But 1's pretty close to 8. 50's pretty close to 70 because see, these are all like 20 apart. So there's not really one that sticks out. Like if this were 700, then yeah, that would be an outlier. But right now, on this set of data, we don't really have an outlier.
1 and 70.
Okay, let's look at the next set of numbers. This time we're going to be finding 2 different sets, and then we're going to compare them both. Okay, so let's look first at room A. Okay, what are we going to do? Put them in order, least to greatest. I like to go through and mark them off when I'm doing this. Okay, 65 and 67. Make sure you're doing this as I am. 72, 78, 80, 84, 87, 92, and 100. Now, double check we have the right amount of numbers. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Make sure you double check that to make sure you've got all the numbers you need. Okay, so first thing, what is my range of this set of data? 35, very good. Range is your highest number minus your lowest number, so 100 minus 65. Okay, now we need to find our median. I have 9 numbers, so where's my median going to fall?
In the middle.
Okay, in the middle of 9, which would be where?
80.
80, very good. Here's my median. I'm going to put a square around it because it's not in between 2 numbers. And what this means is I'm not going to use this number when I find my median down here or up here. It's already taken. Okay? So my upper quartile is going to fall where? Okay, let's look at, okay, you want to do lower quartile?
You got to add 67 and 72 together.
Very good. So it's going to be between these two. Okay? So let's do 67 plus 72.
139.
Okay, and then divide by 2. And give us, what is that, 69.5? So that is my lower quartile. All right, what about my upper quartile?
You got to add 87 and 92 together.
Fantastic. So 87 and 92 falls between those two. So we do 87 plus 92 divided by 2. And that gives me, what is that, 89.5? And that is my upper quartile, okay? So you have your UQ, your LQ, and how do I find my inner quartile range? You got it, absolutely. So what do we get? 89.5 minus 69.5? 20. So what this now tells me, the majority of my data falls within 20 numbers. So really, you're finding the median 3 different times. Okay, now let's do room B because we've got to compare these. Okay, what's my smallest number on room B?
63.
Okay, 63. And then we've got 65. Make sure you're listing them as I do. 73, yeah. And then 79, 81, 83, 87, 93, and finally 98. Okay, again, we've got 9 numbers, so we want to check we have them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, what is my range?
35.
Awesome. How'd you get that?
Oh, I got the lowest number and the highest number and subtracted.
Okay, so 98 minus 63. What do you notice about our 2 sets of numbers so far?
35 and 35 is both the range.
Absolutely. Our range is the same. Okay? So far, they're looking pretty similar. All right, let's find our median. What is my median?
81.
81. Okay. What's my median over here?
80.
80. So again, still pretty similar. Okay, what about my upper quartile over here? Where's it going to fall?
87. Between 65 and 70.
We're going to do upper first. So between 87 and 93, I heard you both say both. Okay, so we're going to add those two together. 87 plus 93, and then divide by what?
2.
Fantastic. And we get 90. So my upper quartile is 90. Okay, where's my lower quartile?
60 and 73.
Between 65 and 73.
I didn't see 65.
So add 65 plus 73 divided by 2, and we've got 69. Okay, so what is my inner quartile range?
69.
No, that's your lower quartile, yeah.
It's 39.
Double check that again. 90 minus 69.
39.
Somebody said it. 21. Careful, you got to borrow. Okay, so interquartile range would be 21. So if you look at these two sets of numbers, what do you think? How do they compare?
They're very close.
They're very close. They're almost exact. Yeah, they're only off. Your upper and lower quartiles are only off by 5/10, and your range is only off by 1. So this really tells us a whole lot more than just looking at a list of numbers. It tells us that data is very, very similar. Okay. You're going to be comparing and contrasting these quite a bit. Do you, on either of these, see anything that might be an outlier? Is there anything that just sticks out?
No.
There's not really. And I would agree. I don't think on either of these sets that we have an outlier. Okay? Fantastic job. We're going to do some more practice here in just a minute. But put this, go ahead and put this in your notes.